homes in Delaware.
In Delaware, yo block gotta stay a house far from Delaware.
Taking a trip to Delaware. Gotta find my company in Delaware.
Door hit Delaware twice needed.
It's Delaware.
Got bad bitch from Delaware and Delaware.
Bad girls in Delaware.
Delaware. Yeah. It's your boy 302 Yoda, Delaware on Grind. This is the first episode of Delaware on Grind podcast. You know, and this is sponsored by Bruise and Banner Podcast. So make sure you check out Bruise and Banner Podcast on all platforms. New episodes drop every Tuesday on all streaming platforms. You can even say, Alexa, play Bruise and Banner Podcast, and them niggas will pop up on there. Also, you know, we just going to get into a few things. This is the first episode, so bear with me. You know, everything starts off slow and then it progresses, you know. So what we're going to do is we'll talk to a couple artists, you know, entrepreneurs, everybody out in Delaware just doing their thing, you know, because everything you're looking for that's out there in them other states and you be looking online for and shit, it's all here. We got good music. We got good entertainment, good food, good art, everything, man. It's all out here. So today we're going to start off with our first guest since the first episode, and I'm definitely grateful for this man accepting the invite to the podcast. Dope music, you know, dope artists. Got some man. I'm telling you, like when I tell you the voice of the streets, man, like and kicking that knowledge, this is the person that I think of. So on this very first episode, we do have Levigotit, and so I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in. And man, we just gonna get into this shit. We're gonna get this thing popping like it should be. And so let me just go ahead and get my mans in here and just bear with me here. And we're gonna get shit popping like we should. All right. And let's get it.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's the first track on the album too, bro.
Yeah, this shit lit too, boy.
First track on the album.
It's summer, baby, I'm proud of my season. I'ma put my niggas on and I'm proud of my reason. Told an activist, nobody know. All day somebody hit me when she tryna smoke. Jobless, but a postal
catch somebody wrong. Ask back when she can be a monster on somebody's phone. Ask rap trying to ride a wave and be somebody clone.
Yeah. What up, Levi? My guy?
What's going on, Yoda? Chilling. Yoda, that fit you perfect, bro.
Man. Chilling. Man, that's my given nickname at birth was Yoda. And so, you know, I'm in Delaware, put the 302 on there, you know, because niggas don't recognize us any other way. So, but what's popping, man?
Grinding, bro. Same old grinding, trying to get this budget for the marketing side of things right. Do something the right way this time. Own everything and try to get that master mentality going on.
Man, I heard that. Let me just start by asking you, what? Let's just start. Where you from? Let them know where you from.
I'm from Wilmington, Delaware, the West Side Park, Hilltop. You know, Lutheran neighborhood, same old. Really familiar with all sides of the city, though. I got family all over the city, and I got family all over the country for real. But mainly, you know, West Side, North Side, East Side. Really all over for real. People and good people, artists that I've met with, connected with, all over the place. So, yeah, but mainly, you know, West Side. That's where I'm putting on for.
Damn right, I can dig it. And so when you what made you want to get into the rap game in the first place? And like, was it like a certain song that hit you and when you was like, yo, you know what, I think there's some shit that I might want to do, or is it just something that just came? Like,
honestly, it was, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was Lil Wayne. Around the dedication and the mixtapes and the DJ, the Gangsta Grills, the DJ Drama mixtape wave when that Fifth was popping. So it wasn't really nothing that I took serious, but it was you know, just recreational, just for hobby and for sport, and mainly competitive around a few friends of mine. It wasn't mainly, you know, performing or anything like that yet, but eventually I kept hearing that I was good at it or that I should take it serious. And
Right.
people got tired of, you know, my family and the ones close to me, the genuine supporters, you know, I wanted to give them other ways to engage and support rather than, you know, a like or a comment. You know what I mean? So if I got some merch that they could wear, or if I got a show that they can come and see me perform, or if I got, you know, a project or something that I could put out and they could help me promote, you know, just other ways to engage my genuine crowd in it. And I wound up taking it serious about maybe 3 years ago. It's been a good 3 years now, going on 2021.
Whoa! It's been 3 years since you've been taking this serious. Nigga, I would have
Three
never known.
years, bro.
I would have never known, man.
3 years.
I can't tell. Look like you've been working hard at this for a minute. For 3 years, I
Shit,
mean, I guess that's a
the
minute.
look, yeah, it's for me. It feel longer because my learning curve has been like in between each quarter. Because I don't really just drop. You know, when I first came out, it was like I said, Dat Piff mixtape platforms, and then like Audio Mac, Reverb Nation, and a lot of
Right.
mixtape platforms. But
Yeah.
you know, through you know, engineers actually, and other people that maybe had like labels had me put me on to, you know, getting the other streaming platforms that could actually get us some money from it, to make money from music and not just, you know, do it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and
with hearing, you know,
I think
go
like
ahead,
at
bro,
the
go ahead,
time
bro.
that you, I think at the time that you came in, since you're saying it's like you started taking it serious like 3 years ago, I think that's a good time, whether you've been doing it for a long time or not. But if you started
Yeah,
taking it serious 3 years ago, that's a pretty good time um because streaming and shit is really the shit now. So it's a little easier
exactly,
instead of having you to go through platforms that don't really, you don't monetize off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly,
like just throwing
exactly.
shit out there and it's just going to an ear, but it ain't doing nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like
Yeah.
this a good this that was a good time to come in. Um, like what was your first? What was the first thing that you wrote that you could think of that that uh that you said to yourself like, yo, this shit right here is it?
Off the rip, without question, it wouldn't matter what time or who asked me that question. It's a song called Marble Floors on Line Hooded 2 on Spinrilla. It's on that Piff too, but it's a
Okay,
song called Marble Floors where I recorded that with Rick Roman. He had By the Way Studios now off Market Street Mall.
okay,
He engineer over there now. He intern there. But I recorded that with him, and this is at a time where how I was working was kind of unheard of. Like he mixed and mastered in a way that I could maybe knock out 7 songs in like 3 hours. So
damn,
this when it was mixtape time, like around my birthday, around holidays, really around like this time was where I will put a mixtape out. I stuck to it consistently. I'm gonna do that this year too. But it got to a point where we was really like knocking out tapes, and I didn't really know how to put a project together. I mean, I could have just winged it and did it, but I was really learning myself as an artist. So, but Marble Floors, that I pretty much created my lane off of that song, pretty much, like lyrically, delivery wise. And I didn't really need to write after I made that song. It was just based off what I was feeling and what I was experiencing, you know, my surroundings. So I was able to grow as an artist from that song to this point now.
Marble Floor. So everybody that's listening, that's checking this out, make sure y'all go find Marble Floors and see what he's talking about. And y'all probably won't like it, but it's say nah. So wait,
Nah,
what?
nah.
How old is that song
That
though?
was
How old is that song?
that song is 2 years old.
Two
That
years?
song
Okay,
maybe that might have been no, it might be 3 years. That might have been
okay,
2017, 2016. I ain't really sure. I ain't really
yeah,
sure.
okay,
But shit,
okay,
I just locked in with him. He was probably 17, 18 at the time. And I think I was around 19.
okay.
So yeah, definitely, definitely.
And I know you said Lil Wayne was the one that like made you say, hmm. But like, what do you think of Lil Wayne's music now? I ain't gonna ask you what you think of Miles
Now,
personally because that nigga's a weirdo, but
yeah, he is. But honestly, his work ethic, I feel the same about Wayne. Like
okay,
he definitely ventured off and hopped in lanes that I would never. But at the same time, lyrically, I still got him the greatest alive right now, and that's not as my favorite rapper right now, but just as his influence and how he molded me as an artist.
right.
I still got him as my number one influence. Him, I would say Ace Hood being my favorite rapper. Ace Hood is my favorite rapper. A lot of the
Really?
body
Yeah,
bag
nigga, that's
mixtapes and
the first time I heard that. Nigga, I ain't never heard nobody say Ace
that
Hood,
you
boy.
might not ever hear that. You might not ever hear that for real, for real. Ace Hood, Wayne, Joel Santana, and Nipsey,
Oh, okay,
and Wiz
because I was
Khalifa
going to say,
too.
I'm starting to think you just like niggas with dreads, but I'm glad you you mentioned Santana, Joel
Uh,
Santana, and Nipsey. Boy, had me scared for a minute. I was going to
uh,
say, oh, this is just some fucking dreadlock bias shit, but okay,
yeah,
I got, I
for
got
real.
you
They
though.
they really they made their mark on me, man. All throughout like high school, they made their mark on me.
Yeah, and I mean, I, I mean, I can't say no to neither of them because I'm a big Lil Wayne fan. I just don't like some of the shit that he's doing now, but like huge Lil Wayne
Yeah.
fan. And I like Ace Hood when I was listening to Ace Hood. Like this is not something I
Mm-hmm.
go look for now, but like back when Ace Hood was like really
Yeah.
popping, yeah, he could rock some shit. And like I hear like when I listen to your songs, yeah, I could definitely see the hear the Ace Hood influence on it because, and I only say that because it's like real, like you can like with the tone of your voice, even just the tone of your voice, it's like every word is like you can feel it, like you know what I'm saying, like you can feel it in your tone when you spitting it, and so
Mm-hmm.
I can, and that's the same type of feeling you get when you hear Ace Hood John, like so I
It was the
definitely
hunger. It was a
yeah
different hunger I wasn't accustomed to hearing from not only mainstream people but people in the city too. Like it wasn't really that much that was speaking it that vivid or painting them pictures that way where we from,
right
But besides, I would say Gino maybe, but a lot of them wasn't really painting those pictures that vivid to where it would resonate or that I could relate to it. So yeah, them the ones that I looked up to when it came to taking it serious, trying to mimic their moves and actually put it in themselves to have a passion doing this shit for real, so it can just be more than just making music and worrying about what the fans would like.
yeah I can dig that, like so with the culture, the way the hip hop culture is now, how do you feel about it? Like, do you like the way that it's going, or is it, or are you like one of them people that's like, man, fuck this, like everybody sound the same and all this bullshit?
Yeah, I feel like mainstream wise, what you just said, that was to the T. That was accurate. But the underground scene and just strictly real music and real lyricists, I don't think that has went anywhere. It might
Right,
got heightened a little bit. It doesn't get the same acknowledgement or notoriety as a lot of the mainstream and the bumblegum and the mumble rap, but it hasn't died out. It hasn't went anywhere. It hasn't left. It's actually getting stronger in my eyes from how I'm viewing it. And but definitely took a turn on what was real music versus what just a pop hit or something like that. It's a lot of pop stars now, but it's still
that
lyricists and artists out here that still give me that feel when I hear them, that might make me go to the studio and turn me up a little bit. I can still gain inspiration from the real people out here still.
so like who right now?
Right now, mainstream
Which
or
one?
or locally.
Nah, in the mainstream, who can you listen to now and be like, yeah, I won't go to the
Mainstream right
studio?
now, RIP Nipsey, but I still listen to Victory Lap as if it just came out yesterday.
Okay,
I still listen
yeah,
to Mailbox Money every morning, like literally every morning. Mailbox Money is playing either out of speaker or in the car on my way to work or when I'm getting off from work. And that mixtape that came out 2014 when I graduated, but other than Nip, I would say still Joel Santana when he feel like dropping.
Right.
I would say G Herbo. I like Lil Herb. Um, I like Benny the Butcher. Somebody put me on to
Oh
him
yeah.
about a year
Yeah.
back. I like Benny the Butcher. I would say who's somebody else that's nasty. Honestly, it's a white dude from Philly. He's not as big as Benny, but OT the real. I got put on to him from a cameraman actually. When I shot a video out Philly, he put me on to him. And yeah, I like OT the real. His Meek Mill challenge is the reason why I even did that Meek Mill challenge for real, for real.
Okay.
But
Okay. Okay.
yeah, mainstream wise, I would say Jewel still, Nip still, Benny the Butcher, um, Future. I'm a diehard Future fan. Uh, let's see.
You ain't like it
I
when
would
it,
have to check my playlist real quick to really get you the
yeah.
mainstream people off top. But yeah, mainly them. But Benny the Butcher, the main one for me right now.
What's your so with because like I always tell people it's a lot of artists in Delaware that people aren't really aware of and
Hmm.
just like I mean it's a lot of good ones and of course just like anywhere else it's a lot of bad ones. But
Hmm.
do you think that Delaware itself, right, has a certain type of sound to it or is it just all over the place?
Sound wise, I do believe it's kind of all over the place, but it's more of a I don't know, cause sonically, I don't think we got a sound. I don't think we
Okay.
could, literally match one sound and claim it ours, cause
Right.
it's not really like one vibe out here. It's a lot. Like we got R&B singers, we got, like I said, we got the little yachties too. We got people with the dyed hair and the pop stars, but we got the people who can make that melody rap and still give you some heartfelt, some pain, some hunger with
Yeah.
some bars, or still with a melody and still get their story off and paint it real vivid for you to relate to it and give you a Wilmington story. But I don't think it has like a Wilmington sound yet. I don't think
Sound,
we
yeah.
got that yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Because I don't think I don't know if we'll ever get it because, and the only reason I say that is that because we're where we're located at, right? And so you
Yeah.
like because you if you talk to a lot of people from a lot of different states, they'll tell you like, okay, I went to such and such city, but they still in the same state, but they
Hmm.
took a 6 hour ride. You know what I'm saying? Versus where
Hmm.
Delaware, you take a 6 hour ride, you go on a totally different state. And so it's like we
All the
surrounded by yeah, and I'm like, yo, I think it's because we're surrounded by so much and so many different sounds, and that's why all of it
way.
just falls into one place. You know what I mean? I think that's why we all
Yeah.
over the place with
I
it.
feel like I feel like we got a specific swag to us, like a specific, wordplay or lingo to us, but it ain't really like a specific sound because it's
Right,
mad
yeah,
diverse out here too. Like a lot of people ain't really from Delaware. Like we got people that then moved here and been here for a couple years and
yeah, that's true
started
too.
families, maybe businesses and stuff like that too. So yeah, it's kind of wide range with it.
So do you think Delaware even because we talked about this on Bruise and Banner? Do you think Delaware actually has a certain culture? You know how a lot of people say, well, this is the New York culture or whatever. You think Delaware has a certain thing that you would say, oh, this is Delaware culture? You look at you think about it like, oh shit.
Uh, yeah, I had to, cause that's a good question though, cause it's like I feel like we got a culture when it comes to sometimes negative shit and not really like a lot of positive things. Like the way we would ride for each other when it comes to certain situations, like the Schoolboy Q situation, or just anybody that ain't from here talking down on us, like we sweet or something like that, or like we don't have talent or the ability to be bigger than the states that's talking down on us when we kind of bigged a lot of these artists up when they weren't known. Like a lot of them went
Right,
viral from us. A lot of them took sounds from artists that are out here. A lot of them, you know what I mean? But the same way, they still might get love. Like it might be people that can't sell out a show in their own town, but if they come to the Queen, it'll be packed. They
right,
get all the
yeah,
love. You know what I mean? So, but as our own thing, I mainly think just because we haven't had that many people from here put us on when they got to those statues or to those, higher ups and those pedestals and in position to fully put us on in a way of somebody that was born here and brought up here. So, but I mean,
We,
what was you about to say, bro?
I was going to ask you, do you think it's a reason behind that? Like why somebody would like make it, let's say, quote unquote, out and wouldn't take Delaware with them, like put them on their back and just like, yo, this us and we gonna ride this shit. You think that there's a reason behind that, or it's just niggas just being fucked up?
Yeah, I think it could be both, but I feel like the part of it is people trying to keep us under the radar and because I feel like the same way it might be people you might make it to the industry, but behind closed doors it'll be people in the industry telling motherfuckers not to work with you, or just trying to like throw shade on what you're doing as if you're not doing it for your hometown, or it wouldn't be a major opportunity to put one of us on. So they kind of, stick to who they fuck with. But that kind of might create a mentality for somebody out here to get on and only put on who supported them in a genuine way rather than, who was just riding a wave. So it might not, outside looking in, it might not look like that person is putting us on, but underneath online and all the social media shit, he might really be out here putting together and making moves, or he or she for that matter, because it's certain events and things that I've come to learn that have been in existence or have been, groundwork put in and have been built up to the point where I'm hearing about it now in a certain way, but it's kind of always been going on. But I had to be, in a different perspective myself to even acknowledge it. So if I was on some selfish shit or, just working on myself and not really connecting with other people, I probably wouldn't even have known about it. So
Right.
it's like it's going to take for people to grow within themselves for anything to grow outside of this shit, for real, for real.
Yeah, I mean, because it's always been crazy to me because we always had like some good artists and good. I mean, anything, actors, actresses, whatever. And it's like you'll hear about it. You'll once they on you'll be like, oh, that person from Delaware, but it's like that's all you'll hear,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. You'll never hear nothing else about them. You won't hear them coming to Delaware or nothing. It's just like, oh, they're from
Yep.
Delaware, and then oh wow, ooh, and then that's it. Like you hear nothing else. So
Yeah.
it's always been like kind of weird to me that but the way you put it makes sense. Like the way you put it definitely
Yeah.
makes sense, but it's still weird though.
It's
like cuz it,
definitely still weird. It's definitely still because there's people that might have been on for some years now.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, but for instance, like I would say Sap. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people look at Sap as somebody who made it and don't really put on for it. But it's like people way too quick to push that conversation forward than just putting him on. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm not mad at a nigga that's going to make sure his bills is paid and make sure his family's straight before he double back and come get the rest of you. Feel what I'm saying? People
Right.
going to
Yeah.
have to really get their feet planted in the industry before they can come back and do anything like this, because our crime rate ain't going nowhere, our murder rate ain't going nowhere. So if his folks just got killed out here when he planned to bring somebody up, it's like it's kind of, I can't really, you know what I mean, make his priority the city if he got to take care of his family first and really get a plan in place that could even help us on that, that stature, because
Right.
it might be something that could take years to do, and he need connections to do it and stuff like that. But it ain't like he's not reachable if it was any conversation to have on or an idea to have. It isn't like we can't get in contact with him. It's not as simple as a DM or getting his number that quick. But if you're actively pursuing a certain, I would say a certain idea, or just, anything that could put somebody on, or just anybody in position, it's going to take time to do that. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
just going to happen overnight. So anybody could make it from here and, appear as, a hater or whatever it is they don't put on for us. But when they getting all that attention and it appears to be more of that attention than the love online, I can't blame them from not, you know what I mean, just taking care of themselves, making sure they good at the end of the day. But I know how it would be if I was to get on tomorrow. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it goes hand in hand on both sides of it. But yeah, like I said, I'm learning more on the side of like, yeah, it's a lot of snake shit going on behind closed doors that we not even, you know, it's above my pay grade to even really fully
Right.
understand how these moves is being made and how people is being placed behind back doors as if they not important to the industry
Right.
and who they are today, or who they are to their city. So I don't really know. I ain't make
I
it
think
yet, so I can't really speak
yeah,
on it.
I could feel you, but it's almost like I think another thing is that I mean, because it happens even when you don't, when it's not necessarily that you getting on, but when you're just doing anything outside of the norm that anybody
Mm,
else is doing. I noticed that a lot of people in Delaware either tend to hate on you from the gate, like because they expect you just because you got on today or you opened your business today or whatever the case may be, that you're supposed to be helping them out right now. But I noticed that that's how it is. A lot of hate comes from that because they feel like they should be on it immediately, and it's a lot of
yeah,
people that don't fuck with you before you get on, that
yeah,
suddenly now everybody your cousins and all this shit, and you bro to them and all this shit
exactly,
once you on.
exactly.
I did notice that, and I kind of think that that's part of the reason why, because even though we may not see the because they may be putting somebody on, they may be helping somebody else, but we may not just be seeing it because it ain't for us to see. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly,
and and
exactly.
that's just how you know what I'm saying, and that's just how they ride, and because everybody's not that loyal person that's been with them from day one.
Hmm.
Everybody just trying to jump on it, or that person may have been sitting there for a minute and my man said, "All right, well, when I get on, you gonna get on," and they already sat there for a minute, already waiting. But people tend to, all
Yeah,
as soon as somebody get on, they always like, "Oh, I should be right with them," blah blah blah. And I think that's
yo,
why a lot of shit probably why we don't see a lot of people trying to put somebody else on from Delaware. I get it because I mean we got like if you just think about it, like even just like on a normal basis outside of music or anything else, like we can have a party and
hmm,
motherfuckers tear the party up. You know what I'm saying? You can have a party and
yo,
niggas just tear the party up for no reason, just because they hate the motherfucker throwing a party. What you come for? Like it be dumb shit like
exactly,
that.
exactly.
And so I
As
mean I
if you ain't
get
got nothing better to do.
yeah, like it's just I don't know. It could get a little weird out here, but like yeah, like with the shit that you doing, I could definitely see you going places, man. I want you to keep pushing. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people sometimes they're not really in it for the love of the art. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people just in
Hmm.
it to get on, and then once they don't make it in a couple of years, they're like, oh fuck it. But
Yo,
if you got pure talent, like you definitely got pure talent, because eh,
appreciate that, bro.
one thing is like I said, nobody's voice that I heard on the track sounds like yours. And so I could definitely, if I hear, I don't think I see whose song it is. If I hear
Yo,
your voice, I already know it's Levi. You know what I'm saying? Not
yo,
trying to figure out who it is. I know it's Levi from the gate. Especially
hmm,
like don't. I was thinking the other day it was crazy because when we was talking on the when we was DMing each other, I thought about it. I'm like, yo, who voice do he sound like? I'm an old head, so I threw it
hmm.
all the way back to Ill Scratch. You remember them niggas? Yo, when they know him, Ill Scratch.
I, that flew over my head, bro. Put me
Yo,
on, put me on.
this is what I want you to do one day when you get tired. Look up Ill Scratch, right? And I think the
Uh-huh.
nigga it's two of them, but I think one of them was named Ill and the other nigga was named Al Scratch. But the dude Al Scratch got like this raspy, like heavy voice, kind of like similar to yours, but your styles a little,
Mhm.
of course, more aggressive and different because the times is different. But it got the same type of tone to it, and it could be smooth at sometimes for a lady, for a lady to hear, but it still connects with like street niggas, like, and that's what I like about it, and a lot of shit that I hear from you definitely has a message to it. It's like that's how I know you listen to a lot of Nipsey
For a
because
fact. For
it
a fact.
yeah, you could definitely hear the message in it. Like even though it sounds like some real street gangster shit, it definitely has a message behind it. Um, and that's something that I appreciate to hear in a song. You know what I'm saying? And your voice ain't no high pitch like everybody else try to do. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
do know you said that you was a Lil Wayne fan, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
you said it's a lot of uh people out here trying to be pop stars and 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 what you call it, bubblegum
Yup.
music and all this shit.
Yup.
Who fault is
And
that?
I don't
You don't
mind
think it's Lil Wayne's?
if that's what's getting you money at the time, I respect it, but that's just not a move I'ma make. Like I can't I might cause right now I ain't said nothing or announced nothing. I'm working on the EP with a girl who she can sing and rap. And it's one of the songs on the EP. I am harmonizing the hook with her a little bit because she kind of talked me into it. I wrote the hook for her, but she kind of talked me into harmonizing on it. So it's kind of sound like if J. Cole was to just harmonize on something for real, for
Right,
real. It don't really sound, you know what I mean? But that's not my speed. That's not something that I would do. But it was presented to me almost like I kind of took it as like a challenge because that's something I haven't done yet. Like I've worked with females before, but an actual 5-track EP owned every beat and we going in the studio and we knocking it out. That's not something I have done yet. You know what I mean? So I
right.
took it upon myself. Like, all right, if I'm really trying to grow as an artist, I need to check off the things that I haven't done yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Home
true.
first, cause I
Right.
I haven't. You know what I mean? So and if we're able to connect and have chemistry in a way that we just didn't know each other last year. So if I'm able to do that with a female, then I know I'm able to do that with anybody. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not just working with any and everybody, but at the same time, it's like it's certain things that I know might be keeping me back from growing as an artist or just maturing and being a student in the game because I don't know everything. Like it's other ideas that conspired from that EP working with her. You know what I mean? And she's
Yeah.
grown, you know, she's working on a whole mixtape on the side of that I didn't even know about, but I heard a couple songs of it last night at her studio, the Lituation community off Newport Road. That's a whole
Okay.
studio community center that I didn't even know about until last week. For real, for real. So now that's like
Dang,
a
neither
new
did I.
studio that I could, make a home. I could record there. You know what I mean? And it's good company. It ain't, no extra expensive thing. You know what I mean? And it's just strictly off the energy of wanting to see the person next to you win just as much. Like the main thing be, like you said before, people would see you in that position. They'll big you up until you get in that position and then hate on you and be mad
Right.
because it's not
Yeah.
them. It's not really that is anything wrong with you, but it's like all right, damn, they kind of feel like they got you there, like they made you or something, and they kind of want more than the people that actually been genuinely supporting you along that
Yeah.
route. So it go differently, but again, that's something that I'm not even going to experience unless I put it on myself to challenge myself as an artist as well as grow as one. Because anything could be challenging. I could go off a rock star beat or something like that, but if it's not, if I'm still not able to incorporate Levi on that track, I'm probably
Right.
not going to
Yeah.
do no
Yeah, you never
bullshit.
want to do anything that's gonna make it outside of your level. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to do nothing that's not comfortable for you. But
Yeah.
one thing I can say is that I can't because I'm not like a hater of the melodic type stuff and the harmonizing and all this shit because
Yeah.
sometimes it is necessary. So like the track that you was talking about that you doing with that you got one that you said you might be doing uh sometimes it's necessary. It could just fit what the mood is for the song, like, and it
Hmm.
has to be in there. So I can get how you can be
Yeah.
talked into it because if it makes sense, then why not do it? You know what I'm saying? But
And that was at the Laboratory Studios with PC Beats. That was
okay,
my first time recording in there, and him engineer wise, I learn a lot more from engineers than artists nowadays. Cause when somebody's trying to find your sound that you already have, it's certain things that you may learn about yourself as an artist that you kind of didn't pay attention to.
right,
Like
yeah, that's true.
you know what I mean? So I picked up certain skills from recording at other studios and with other people, maybe stepping outside my lane, but at the same time, like I said, it still helped me grow. It still gave me ideas and the ideas that conspired from doing that I probably would have never, thought of or even cared to do. You know what I mean? So
Right,
it
yeah,
it do help. But back to PC, I was getting that he's an engineer that he sings himself. So
Okay.
anything that's on like one of his beats that he might hear, oh yeah, bro, I think you should do this. I'm not taking it as, nah, like what you mean? I'm not about to do that. I'm not to be too big headed to where this could not help me or something like that. I don't
Right.
see no negative correlation to anything that somebody would be suggesting to me as they're hearing my sound and figuring my sound out, just figuring who I am as an artist. So it definitely was dope working with him for real. I just had to shout him out real quick.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm probably gonna try to get him on here. Shit, might as well. Like what? Like we was at the beginning of the podcast when you came on. We was playing Journey, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like that shit rocks. What was your what was the mindset behind Journey? Like what was the thought process on that?
All right, so that's the intro to the album. I'm basic. This is the first album I've ever worked on. I've done mixtapes up until this point. But the Fear EP was kind of like an EP of the album. So what Journey was, it was going to be a track that was on the EP, but I scratched it just so my cousin could, produce majority of that EP. Even
Oh,
though
okay.
he's family, he's still talented like a motherfucker. And it's on the notion of, still trying to get my masters together as far as publishing rights and just PROs and all of that type thing that I'm learning on the side of the actual recording phase of things right now. But Journey was my journey into, you know, growing as a new artist. Like, cause I feel like the artist people might have met when I started out, I'm no longer him.
Okay.
I do have the same hunger, but I don't have the same goals. I don't wake up and do the same day-to-day things that I did at that time. So my whole perspective of life in general is different. It means more to me, and I'm at this point with music, I'm overly passionate with it. So when I'm talking about a story, it's only like a portion of it, but my entire story might be this album. But Journey was basically my path toward comfortably giving this out and putting it out in a specific way. Um, that beat was made by Chase, produced by Chase. He's a young guy coming out of Baltimore. Um, he just that shit just a snippet of it just popped up in my email for real, for real. The beat was already called Journey before I did the track, and when I heard it, I pretty much was like, all right, well, I'm gonna make this song about my journey to that album. So it'll be like any vlogs you may see coming out, future references. That might be the intro to the vlog. And another thing that I haven't really done is shown my work process. So again, vlogging is something I'm about to dive into. It's a few cameramen that I know I could pay that heavy tab for that could get me right, but it's also a few cameramen that I've met that are just starting out that are genuine love, genuine support, and I'd rather them capture that moment on some documentary shit to show how
Right.
far we both came along the way. So when it come down to Journey being the kicker, the intro to the album, it's pretty much gonna be an intro to me letting people into my world. Like I might not have any futures on the album besides, different producers and maybe a hook or two like that, but it's mainly my intro, hopefully the mainstream.
Yeah, I can dig that shit, man. I can't
Yeah.
wait. Cause that Journey shit, man. When I heard that, I was like, "Yo, this is bananas. Yo, that shit's nuts."
Shout
Yo,
out Jay Smooth too, cameraman. That was maybe my second time working with him. He shot Levi's Lude too, when I was talking about the protests and
that
everything that
Levi's
was going
Lou,
on back
yeah,
then.
that shit's nice
Yeah,
too, man. I was like, this is a
yeah.
bit too deep for me, man.
And that's
I was
that's
like,
why I had like the first video I shot with Jay Smooth. It was like a pop smoke type beat, so it really wasn't much substance to it other than, like I said, the everyday day-to-day shit that we might experience just being from Wilmington. But
right,
when we shot Levi's Lou, I made it a thing to where every video I gotta do with him now, it has to be something we haven't done before. Like I'm not about to get back to just showing niggas drinking and smoking and having guns in the videos and everything like that, because that kind of harms the energy that we want gravitating toward us. It's not as natural in a positive way
right.
unless I put music out and I give a visual like I did with Journey. So I'm trying to, you know what I mean? I only want my niggas to experience no type law attention or nothing like that. So I can't even mention certain lyrics in a certain way, but I can definitely tell you my story without mentioning the major details or who exactly such and such was, but I can let you in on how impactful it was to me.
Do you think it makes it like does it make it harder when you don't put stuff like that in the video, when you don't have the guns and like the girls and all this crazy shit? Because like I'm only asking the question because it's like when you see all these like artists coming out, um,
Mm-hmm.
just like who could I like kind of like mocking Chief with the Chief Keef type shit and
Yeah.
just like different type niggas, like they always got all the fucking ARs and all this stuff in their
Mm-hmm.
videos, and they want to be just gangster niggas all the time. You think that does it make
Mm-hmm.
it harder when that's not in the video, or you think that that makes it easier when it's not in the video?
For generally speaking, I do think it makes it harder if the song don't really got like substance to it. I think it makes it harder, but I feel like if you stand firm on and you put your all into that piece of work, like I'm looking at everything as a project now. So I'm not even just recording to make the next hit single or nothing like that, and then just Airbnb some shit, grab a rental, and appear
Right,
viral to everybody else. I'm not really focused on that. But as far as me, I think it made it easier for me personally because my reach is wider than it's ever been. And like I said, when I was putting a lot of that stuff out, no, I didn't say this, but when I was putting a lot of that stuff out, I was meeting, that type of energy was gravitating toward me. I was
right,
in circumstances or rooms full of it. And
right,
that's all my state of mind was when I'm in that room. I'm not thinking about making money or how to make money off music. I'm not thinking of anything that could grow me as a person or as a man at the end of the day. That's not really some man shit to be in that state of mind 24/7 and then to hear a song 24/7 that's going to put me in that state of mind. And then I have a son now. So that's the
right,
last thing I want him to grow up and immediately gravitate toward. But
right,
on another note, for me personally, I feel like it's easier for me because I'm seeing better feedback from not just, a teenage bracket, but the older and maybe much younger. And
right,
not only just, oh, that's a nice video or the beat was nice, but they're actually listening now. Like every song I drop, no matter if it had it made your head nod or if you could play it in a strip club or if you just, you know what I mean, you played it on your everyday wake up, every bar is gonna take you somewhere that you might not want to be, but it's going to give you an actual real feeling that you already had before I gave it to you.
right.
So it's going to be like, oh, all right, now I feel this from him. He might not intended on making me feel that, but now I take him more serious as an artist. And then when they meet me and I'm still standing on these certain things and we're having conversations just like we simply have like this, because we spoke like this outside of cameras and
Right,
music and everything when I was at your studio with J Real. But and even that song that we did, Self Destruction, like that's a song that I probably wouldn't even have been opened up to, recording on unless I was, granted opportunity with y'all, which I definitely appreciate that for. But
oh man,
just, small things like that, the smaller things personally to me mattered when I started getting the feedback from other crowds that have nothing to do with street shit. They ain't gotta be street people, but real people, like real men, real niggas. It didn't just come from the negative things. It came from me trying to inspire and do it in a different way. It might not show up on the view count or nothing like that, but at the same time, Levi's Lude is my most viewed video right now, in
yeah,
honesty. And that's something that I would have never put out unless I was experiencing the times the way I was.
right. Yeah, well, and I mean, and the thing is, like you got to. That is true. Like when you have your son, that's one thing that even if you didn't change your perspective on how you look at things prior to, then having a son definitely like for most of
For
us anyway. If
sure.
you got some kind of sense, most of us, but some people, of course, there's
Exactly.
some niggas out there that just really want their son to grow up to be the same type of nigga they are, but when they in the streets doing dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? But like the fact that you notice yourself growing out of and extending your basically extending Levi. You know what I mean? Which is a lot of people don't notice that till don't get that don't start that process until it's late in the game. Like, and then sometimes it's too late and they can't get out of it. Like your son could be 15, 16 and you trying to switch up and now your son already out there doing crazy shit. So it's good that that's something that you switched up on them like early on, you know what I'm saying? And it does, I mean, in your music, long as you putting it out there and people can hear it, man. I mean, it is, don't get me wrong, like listening to the crazy shit too definitely is something to listen to. It's almost like the same thing with you watching movies, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you do want to see that war movie or that gangster movie where niggas is getting shot up, but you don't want to see it all day every day. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you do want to watch something that you can sit down with your kids and watch, or sit down with your mom and watch, whatever the case may be.
Exactly.
And that's the same thing how you should look at music. Like you want to have that, you can have that different substance in it, but that's something that you don't want to do all the time, because then that just it brings a different type of energy. And like a lot of people, and a lot of people don't even want that energy, but they asking for it. You know what I'm saying? It's just it just gets weird.
Wrong
like
people asking for it.
Yep. And that's exactly what it is. And so that's why I like what you doing here. And when you got on the self-destruction thing, the first thing I told you was like, yo, that's crazy, yo. Like the whole flow, everything, man, the lyrics, everything was like, that shit was lit. And like I didn't expect it. I think when I first met you, it was just something that, of course, when I reached out and you responded, I checked out what you had already, but it was like when you came in, it's like I was like, oh, I'll fuck with him. Like I can fuck with him. Like it wasn't on some old, let me get this shit done and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? It was on some real genuine shit. Like, and I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. And I just can't wait to hear what else you got coming out. Now, one thing I did want to bring up is that you did do a song. You know, I'm from out Newcastle, so you did a song with Doobie. Yo, that song, that's my shit, man.
Y'all the cleaner.
Y'all niggas killed. Y'all killed that joke, man. I could definitely say y'all killed that, man.
The crazy thing about that was that laundromat was 24/7, but the beginning of that video, I don't think nobody peeped. The pop-out van is riding by me literally as I'm about to hang up the phone with Doob to walk in the laundromat. So that video very well could have not ever came out, and I could have been in a holding cell that night just off that. Like,
yo, just that shit's crazy. But yo, that shit, boy. Yo, if anybody who's listening, y'all ain't checked that joint out, definitely check that out. That shit was nice. Do you plan on doing any?
Got it, Cash App Keys, Ace and the Cleaners, produced by Extraordinaire Tui, another dope producer coming out of the hometown.
Yeah, see, that's the thing too. Is like we got a lot of nice producers out here, man. I think I think that we and it's not just like because we don't have one sound. I think that's what makes that part of it definitely good. It's like because the producers that we have out here can take you anywhere you want to go. You know what I'm saying? And
literally,
yeah, they really can. They can take you anywhere you want to go to. And that's just something that you can't get everywhere, because sometimes you go to a certain area and it's just going to sound like that. It's going to have that sound to it. That's why you always hear people say, "Oh, I had to go to Miami to get this joint," and it sounds like something that came from Miami. But but Delaware, their producers got a bunch of shit that just take you wherever you want to go. But did you got any plans on working with like any other artists, like features on any songs or anything coming up like that?
Absolutely. I'm about to along. I got maybe 2 more songs that's just sitting with Doobie. I got a track with him, Train, Raph the Runner, and is me, Doobie, Train, and Raph all on one song. It's called Goodfellas, and we basically providing each side. It's just never ending hunger and pain throughout the whole. It ain't no real hook on there. We just let the sample play out, and then it'll be the next verse. But it's like 4 minutes and some change. So we all equally got a good minute and some change off of saying who we was and how we even came to met. But even that came off just, individually, us taking each other serious, because we done performed together. We done, met on multiple occasions, and it still was genuine love, and we embraced each other the same way each time. So all it would take for real was booking this session and me walking in on one of his sessions, and he got a beat that he in the middle of working on. He not gonna hesitate to ask if I got some shit, because dude don't write at all. I've never seen that nigga write for real, for real. So outside of Geno, I gotta put dude up there and give him his flowers, because I've never seen that nigga pick up a pen or a pad or heard a verse that he said before when he went to freestyle, like and walk in the booth. Ace and the Cleaners, for example, I wrote my verse on that shit. Dude was done. Like that was probably his last hour or whatever, and his verse was done in 20 minutes. Like he just walked in there and did it. Like, and that came off. We was working on something totally different, and Extraordinaire was just cooking. He had the headphones in. Like that was a block session that dude had booked, and he was taking care of motherfuckers. You feel me? And that's a lot of people in his position wouldn't do that.
Right.
But he had pizza boxes and everything. Everybody was comfortable in there. We smoking, we doing what we doing, but we working at the same time. Like it's not just about to be silence. Like there's gonna be a beat playing, somebody's gonna be recording, somebody's writing, somebody's making another one. And it's gonna be conversations that allow iron to sharpen iron. Like that's one
Right.
thing that working with him, I don't see how I can't end up better than who I was in a room full of energy like that. Like there's no way possible. So those the type sessions that I'm looking forward to. But outside of Doob, me and B Miles, he go by Young Miles now.
Mhm.
We got unlimited unreleased shit from like 3 years ago that sound like it was recorded yesterday. Just because it's the same. We not the same artists. Like I said, we've grown from that, but our message and where we from is still the same. So it's still going to hit as if we recorded it yesterday, and the shit might be 2 to 3 years old. But
I
just
feel
because
like
we own that, we want to put. Yeah, go
that's how
ahead,
you
bro.
that's how you make timeless music, man. It's supposed to be like that. Like
Uh-huh.
if you recorded it 3 years ago and can drop it now, man, then you know that that's some good shit right there. Because you should be able to. Because music never, Because I mean, at the end of the day, people still listen to Pac and Biggie and Pun,
Exactly.
like everybody, like because the music's supposed to be timeless. So that's dope if you can drop something from 3 years ago and it still sound like some shit that knock right now, because that's how it should
Exactly.
be. I need that. I need to hear that. I
Like
definitely
like off
need to
the
hear that.
EP too, the eight, like how I got Ace and the Cleaners last. It's the Waiting For song off the EP and the
Oh
song
yeah,
First of All off that EP. They both 2 years old.
yeah. See, I
They
wouldn't
both
have been
two
able
years
to.
old. Like
Yeah, yeah. That's
they
it.
both
Yeah,
2 years
yeah.
old.
I would have known that if you didn't tell me. I wouldn't have known that because that shit sound like it's all new to me. Yeah, that shit's.
Exactly.
I would just
Exactly.
say
So
yo, keep doing what you're doing and keep pushing, keep growing because I can tell that you're growing and I appreciate you coming on. Now before we do
of
wrap
course,
up, I
anytime,
do
anytime.
thank you, man. Thank you. Before we do wrap up, I do want you to let everybody know where they can find you at. So if you want to give out your Instagram and all that shit and let them know where they can find your music at as well.
All right, everybody that's tuned in right now. I don't know if y'all can see it, but at the bottom, Levi got it. That right there on every major streaming platform, whether it's YouTube, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Levi Got It. Follow me on any mixtape platform. Spinrilla, my mixtapes, that piff at Levi Got It. SoundCloud at Levi Got It. All the Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, everything like that. Instagram is just Levi Got It with an Insta score with a underscore. It ain't really too much different. I'm pretty much Levi Got It on everything. Um and I would say, yeah, email me. Feel free to email me. Send me beats, anything that y'all got open, any opportunity, any podcast, any clothing brand that I need to be hip to, anything new to where I can genuinely support and actively support to push to the forefront outside of all of this fake shit. So yeah, feel free to reach out. We could link up. It's whatever. I ain't Hollywood and I ain't big headed either. I ain't better than the next man, but I take my shit serious. So
Yeah.
y'all willing to, no matter who, we reach out and we build. We go from there. It's Levi got it on everything, yo.
I heard that. You can I do thank you for coming on. And you can follow me at 302 Yoda and also at Delaware on Grind. The podcast, I don't have an exact date that the podcast is going to drop yet, only because it's the first episode. But I will be posting it. I'll post it the date that it's going to drop, and also when it'll be available on the streaming platforms as well, because it will be available on all streaming platforms eventually. But yeah, and so I like I said, I do appreciate you coming on, and man, we gonna have to get up
Nah,
once
this
all this
shit
COVID
love, bro.
shit.
I'm happy for you, for real, for real. You hear me?
Yo,
You
man,
hear
I
me?
just
I
had
said this
to.
shit love, bro. I'm happy for you, bro.
Yo, man, thanks, man. I try, and then it's like at the end of the day, we all black people and we all part of the same community, and we just try to make sure that we show love. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much all it boils down to.
Right.
And so make sure y'all follow Delaware on Grind and check out the podcast. It'll be on YouTube as well as on the Facebook page at Delaware on Grind as well. And also on of course the IG Live. We'll go ahead and post it up there as well. And then it'll be on all the streaming platforms too. But we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Levi, you hang out for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll get with you next time, peoples. All right. And we out. And we're out.
Kill the game, ain't no way you gotta be breathing. Said I'm tryna ball like I got it this season. In the field tryna Mars, that kind of receiver. Any nigga claiming Jordan, they probably gon' leave him. Better to overpray shit, I gotta be eating. Pray to angels every day, still I'm proud of my demons. Hot nigga summer, baby, I'm proud of my season. I'ma put my niggas on and I'm proud of my reasons. Know some niggas told an activist, nobody know. Broad day, somebody bold enough to leave a body cold. Hoover, yeah, she got a man, but hit me when she tryna smoke. Jobless, but a poster cash app, hoping somebody loan. Ass back when she can't be alone, stay on somebody's phone. Ass rappers tryna ride a wave and be somebody.